I say this all the time. If your guys aren't energized and excited about practice in the first 2 weeks, it's going to be a long year. Our guys have worked hard, as I'm sure everybody else has. We got a long way to go, execution-wise, fulfilling roles, understanding roles, those kind of things. But for the most part, I've been pleased with our guys' effort, how connected they've tried to remain on the court, working together. So far I'm excited with the way practice has gone for our team.
Tough, tough non-conference schedule. Can you just talk about your strategy and your approach building up to the conference season with what you're going to do?
Well, there's no question we're getting thrown right to the fire right away. Our first in our first 3 games, we're playing Georgetown on a ship, aircraft carrier. Then we're playing Wisconsin. So we're going to get a taste of where we're at as a team very, very early in this season. For me, as a coach, the beginning parts of practice are very, very important. The first 2, 3, 4 weeks is where your foundation is built. And we can't afford to have wasted days because of what's coming so early. A lot of times in years past, you maybe have 4 or 5 games to kind of get under your belt to maybe work through some of those kinks or roles, responsibilities, whatever it may be. We don't have that. We're getting thrown right into it. So we've got to be ready. So these first few weeks are very important.
Coach, can you talk about, I know last season ended with a little disappointment, but overall a very successful tournament run. I know a few key ingredients are gone now, but it has to carry some momentum and confidence forward into this season, I think.
Yeah, I think the one thing, because the last 2 years we've been right there for a Final Four and have come up a little bit short, the normal tendency of any person that's returning would be to say, okay, this is the year we're going to try to break through and get to a Final Four. And I think that is probably the worst kind of mentality we can have. What we've got to understand, if there's a process you have to go through as a basketball team, okay, and that process started 2 weeks ago. So we got to go through this process of practice and games and get better and improve and deal with the ups and downs and the struggles and the challenges. So although last year was a successful year and you're right there on the cusp of getting to a Final Four, we've got to be willing as players and coaches to start back all the way up, because it's a long journey up that mountain, and we can't just think we're picking up on that mountain where last season ended. We're starting all the way back down at the bottom of the mountain, and we got to be committed to making that journey back up a mountain again. And you could play really, really well and still come up short. And I thought in 2 games we lost, we played pretty well. We just lost on some teams, Louisville and Butler, making more plays and better plays than we did. But overall as a game, I didn't think that we performed poorly. I thought it was more of a credit to what those guys did.
I just want to talk about a few names in particular. Kenny Boynton.
It's hard to believe that he's a senior. I remember recruiting him vividly. Just seems like yesterday. This is last year. He's come in, has been a starter from day one. He's made a great impact in our program. He's helped us achieve a lot of success, and I'm going to enjoy coaching him because he's a guy I'm going to miss coaching at someday.
It's funny you say that. I remember reading an article a few years ago, and Boynton being interviewed as a recruit, say Coach Donovan walked in with a Nerf gun and said, if I tell you, if at any point you feel like I'm telling a fib, you can shoot me.
Well, back then, I think sometimes in this recruiting process, so many people say so many crazy, outlandish things. A lot of times these kids don't know what to believe, And I think for, the Boyntons, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to fit in, how I see you, what we feel about you. And if I say anything that you think I'm totally lying through my teeth, you don't have to sit there and call me a liar. If you feel embarrassed, do it. Just shoot me with the Nerf gun. And it was pretty funny. It was more of a joke or a sense of humor thing more than anything else. Thank God I didn't get shot.
Patrick Young.
Patrick's growing. He's maturing. He's getting better. I think the biggest challenge for Patrick is just going to be his stamina, his conditioning for lengths of time. If we can get him doing that, I think that he's going to be a very, very productive player for us.